Do I drive you crazy often?
Yes. Is that the wrong answer? No.
But I'm not a crazy person.
You drive me crazy. Like, a wife should, because you're so hot.
Things.
Okay. I'm going to start it, and you have to be ready.
My nerves are like, whoop, up there.
It's the middle of January, and we're just now starting our podcast back up.
But the important part is, we're back, baby.
We're back. After a long,
much needed
time off.
Yes.
Yeah. Not because of any of you that listen, not because of the brand, not because of any one thing.
But because of life.
Life was a lot last year, and we'll get into it. Oh my gosh, we went through our last year. There was so much stuff, okay? So much stuff. And, big stuff. Anyway. So, if you can tell, we're in a new place. We'll get to that, too, so stay tuned to see what's going on there.
That was so dramatic.
Yeah.
You were like,
But anyway, this is episode 32
of
the UMS Together podcast.
Did you forget what it was called? You're like,
no,
looking
I was
at
trying
me
to
for
figure out.
confirmation.
I was trying to figure out what you were trying to get at, season 1.
This is all season
Episode
1.
32.
It's just gonna count up.
Yep, that's right. We don't want to go seasons and
Anyway,
not doing that.
UMS Together podcast.
Yep,
We're the Roots.
Yep, I'm Noah.
I'm Cambria.
We're the Roots.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's
Awkward
been a while.
like usual.
So anyway, it's 2024. Mm-hmm. We're gonna do some new stuff with the brand this year. We're super excited about some developments.
Got a lot of ideas brewing.
Got some things brewing in here. Yep. Man, I really want to just talk about merch, but we probably shouldn't. All right.
That was a good teaser. Nice.
Yeah, merch. There's some hidden things on our website if you want to go look.
Surprise.
We'll talk about it We'll talk about it next week.
Yeah.
Anyway, what are we talking about this episode?
Since it is now 2024, we're gonna do a 2023 recap.
Little recap.
Yeah.
Yep. And then we'll talk about some goals and goal setting for this year.
Yeah.
And before we go on to kind of our recap, I wanted to mention if there's anything like going into 2024 that you really want out of your marriage, like you're like, man, we really struggle with this, or we are both excited to try this new thing, but we're not sure how to proceed, let us know, and we would love to give you one-on-one advice, or we'd love to talk about it on a podcast or whatever. So if you want, if it came to mind right when I said it, pause the video, put it in the comments. So that was about it. But we really like to be goal-oriented early on in the year so that we can move forward with a plan rather than just wander aimlessly. And of course, life is going to happen like it happened to us last year.
Yeah.
A lot of life happened that we did not expect. But we're here, and we're excited, and we're ready for a new year, ready for some different stuff. Mm-hmm. So
I do want to say, you hear the phrase all the time, new year, new me. It's a new year. You're still you.
Yeah.
You're not, just because the year changed, the calendar flips, doesn't mean you're a brand new person.
Yeah.
In order to become that way, you got to work towards it.
Right.
To reach your goals. The new year is just a great time to go back and look at the past and then decide what you want for your future. It's just a good, pinpoint for that.
Yeah.
So it's not like everything changed just because it's a new year, but we do like to use this time of year to just kind of reset and refocus.
It is a new year, new me, though, because I've made the transition, Yeti to Stanley.
I'm so proud of you.
Only because it was cheaper.
I have my Stanley water bottle too, but I am using this right now.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So, anyway.
It's no brand.
No brand. Amazon wonderfulness. Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, so disappointed with Amazon clothing right now.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Oh, man, it's the worst.
The worst quality clothing.
Like, I've just, like, yeah, you got that sweatshirt thing, and it's like, it's so thin, and the proportions are weird.
And it's still, like, a normal price. And then I went to Costco and found this thing, what I'm wearing right now.
Pretty good quality.
And it feels thick and really nice, and it was, like, $14.
Right.
Instead of, like,
and I'm
35.
sure this will last you years.
So.
Yeah, I know. It's so, I'm boycotting Amazon in some respects because I'm
boycotting Amazon clothing.
Amazon clothing. There's some other things I'm really annoyed about with them too, but we'll not get into it. Anyway.
All right. I'm going to start us off with a story.
Let's do it.
I didn't tell you this, but you know what it is. Okay, so this year for Christmas, we decided we wanted to create some new traditions. So one of the ones that we decided to do was go to Hobby Lobby and pick out an ornament that represents our year. Because if you've ever been to Hobby Lobby at Christmas time, they have just like this wall of ornaments and they're all just like the most random things. Like
super weird.
A stick of butter, a can of Spam.
Yeah.
What were some other things we saw?
A bulldozer.
A bulldozer, yeah.
A moose.
Yeah.
Just so many random things.
Most random things.
Yeah.
So we thought we'll pick out an ornament that represents our year and we'll just do this every year and then we'll have all these ornaments that we can look back on and go, oh, it's 2023 and this is why we picked out that ornament.
Yeah.
Anyway, the ornament we picked out was this honeycomb and it had bees all over it. And the reason we picked it out is because we were busy as bees in 2023.
Yeah. I like to describe it as a chaotic busyness. Yeah. It wasn't a planned and orderly busyness. Yeah. Like you see bees and they're everywhere. It wasn't
necessarily like bad either. No. But it was just insane. Like, we finished the year and we were like, okay, take a deep breath. Because we actually, I already said New Year doesn't necessarily mean New You, but it just happened to be the first couple weeks of January for us had been really slow.
Yeah.
And so it's been really nice to be able to just sit and breathe and look back and be like, oh my word. Yeah. That happened this year? I thought that was 3 years ago. No, that was this year. So.
Crazy.
All right. Jump into it. Here are some of the things that happened this year. Okay? We worked 6 Weekend to Remember conferences.
Keep going.
I'm sure you guys have heard us talk about those before. Basically, each one of those conferences, they fly us to a location and then we work there for a weekend. And so we did that 6 times.
Yeah, and a weekend isn't Saturday, Sunday. It's Thursday to Monday is our weekend, our working weekend. Mm-hmm. So it's long. They're long.
Yeah. So we did 6 of those this year. What else did we do? We visited Washington 3 times. Yep. And more specifically, we visited Spokane, Washington 3 times this year. We had a death in the family this year. We also moved this year.
We did. Kind of.
Yeah. Yeah, those are some of the big overviews.
Yeah.
Took several trips,
renovated 2 RVs.
Yeah. But do you want to start with the really important, exciting thing that happened to us in January?
We started this.
Yeah.
Yeah, not just the podcast, the whole business.
Yeah, it started January 16th last year. Yeah. And that was kind of like the starting point of our year.
That was last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was our 1 year.
Yeah.
Crazy.
We're 1 year old.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, good times.
Yeah, so that was, January was just us getting ready for this.
Yep.
To start, all this. And it's come pretty far. 32 episodes later.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Love the podcast. It's not even just like for all of you. It's for us. Mm-hmm. It's been really good. Like, we've missed it. We've missed just talking to each other and doing back and forth. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we had a few just kind of slow months.
Yep. You played soccer.
I did. I played soccer. I joined an indoor team and played for a couple months. And
that was super fun.
That was really fun.
I have a story about that.
You do?
All right. So another thing on our list is we fasted for 40 days over Lent. Your whole soccer season was in that period, and the place you play soccer has a bar upstairs. I couldn't get any beer because we only drank water and we fasted from sugar.
Yep, no sugar, only drink water.
Yeah.
So it was rough. But it was so enlightening.
It literally, it changed our taste buds.
Yeah.
In the way
And still, yeah.
Yeah.
But if you want to hear more about that, we did a whole podcast on it, so look back on that. Right. We don't need to fill this whole episode with that. But
yeah, I don't even remember when that was.
That was definitely something we didn't expect to do, but we were like, let's try it, and we're definitely doing it again this year.
Yes.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, it made some huge differences in the way we view, well, like sugar, especially. Yeah. We're like, oh my gosh, why is this stuff so sweet now?
Yeah, it's an addiction. Sugar is like a drug, and I am addicted again.
Yeah.
I'm hopped up on sugar drugs.
Crazy.
All the time. Yeah, so it was kind of slow. Those were those couple things that happened, like, through April.
Yeah.
We just, like, went to a couple weekends to remember. Nothing big happened. And I remember thinking when it turned to 2023, I was like, I just know it. This is going to be a big year. I don't know why, but it's going to be a big year. And then, like, nothing happened for 4 months. And I was like, I don't know. Okay, and then everything blew up.
Yes.
Okay, so let's...
This is the time.
All right.
So, all of May, we had a job. Mm-hmm. Gunnison, Colorado. We were there literally all of May. Hauled our whole home up there.
It's about 4 hours away from Colorado Springs. West.
Yep.
Yeah.
Stayed there on site. I worked 10, 12-hour days for the whole month. We had a conference in the middle of that job.
We flew to Tucson.
So we were 4 hours away from home, right?
Yeah.
We drive over the pass, drive here, and fly to Tucson, and then fly right back. Like, we didn't stay till Monday like we usually do, an extra day. We just flew straight back, drove all the way back, and I was at work the next day.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And I was there with you for most of it, too.
Yeah.
I came up and enjoyed some time by myself. It was just me, the puppies, and 3 guys.
Yep.
And I was just there to make you guys food. And it was nice to be away, but I did miss social interaction and my friends and, anyone else but you guys.
Yep. So anyway, that was the start of our craziness, right?
Yeah.
Directly following the work. I'm sorry, did I steal your mojo, or should I keep going?
Keep going.
Okay. Directly following that job, we get home. We had bought a pickup bed camper November 2022. It had sat all winter untouched. We bought it for $500
it was an
to renovate
old, like, 1980s, and so our plan was to update it.
Right. We simply bought it so we could flip it and sell it. Your family planned a road trip up to Washington, across to the coast, and down
Oregon.
Down the Oregon coast. So we thought, the pickup bed camper would be perfect for this. So we get back from the job. We spend the whole week following that.
We gave ourselves 1 week.
Yeah, to renovate the whole thing. So we did full paint outside, inside, resealed the whole outside. I had to do a bunch of plumbing work, all sorts of different stuff. The toilet didn't work.
Yeah.
A lot of different things. Yeah.
Yeah, and we didn't even get it all done. We also put flooring in, new wallpaper, and that was all later. It didn't make it. Didn't
make it for our trip.
Yeah.
But it was functional for our trip. Loaded on the truck and took off to Washington a week later.
Yeah. So that's right in the middle of 2 events.
Yes.
We both have a cousin who graduated this year from high school.
Yes.
And so in May, we went to your cousin's graduation.
That's right.
Which thankfully he lives here.
That made it easy.
My cousin lives in Spokane, Washington, which is where our first stop on our road trip.
Yep.
And so we left on our anniversary. We celebrated our 4-year anniversary in the car all day, and then had a burger dinner with my parents.
Yep. Good times.
And then went to a brewery. Wasn't bad.
Had some beer. Ollie got beer spilled all over his back.
He smelled like beer for days.
It was amazing.
Yeah, so we took this road trip up to
Spokane,
and then we went, like you said,
across
to the coast and visited my uncle in Long Beach, Washington. It was technically Washington, but it was right on the border.
Yeah.
And then went like halfway down the Oregon coast and then came home. Yeah. So we need to go back and do the other half sometime. We didn't make it all. It was super pretty though. But we were gone for 2 weeks.
Yep.
And it was a lot. It was all in pick up bed camper, and the dogs came with us.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed those 2 pieces. Thank you for filling
it's okay. It was just kind of like your cousin graduated in May, mine graduated in June, and a lot happened in between those.
That's true. So, do you want to continue on?
Yeah. Where are we?
Graduations.
Okay. So graduations were in June. In July, we got a call that my cousin, who we just went to his graduation, had passed away. So a month later, we went back to Spokane, Washington for his funeral.
Yeah.
So that was a lot. Those were the
super
2
unexpected.
of the 3 times we've been to Spokane this year.
Yeah.
Super unexpected.
It was his high school graduation. He was 18.
Yeah. So we went to his high school graduation in June, his funeral in July. We also went on a big family camping trip in July, like a 10-day trip. And us going to my cousin's funeral was in the middle of this trip. So we were in the mountains, drove all the way to Denver to the airport, flew to Spokane, flew back, drove back to the mountains, and finished our camping trip.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
That was our theme for this year. Going on trips in the middle of trips.
Yeah. And it was a lot.
It was a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was probably the biggest unexpected thing that happened this year.
Yeah, because
it feels more monumental.
It just it changes a lot of things in the way you function, because you have so much emotion.
Yeah.
There was a lot of emotion.
Yeah.
Through that time.
I think too, you and I haven't dealt with death that much.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had a few people die, but we're still, it's not like we've had all of our life to experience that.
We haven't lost any parents or people like super close to us.
We've lost some grandparents, great-grandparents. But it was just learning to deal with grief again, because I've kind of learned, but not really. And so it was just taxing on my brain.
We could take a pit stop here and talk about kind of the effects it had on our marriage.
Yeah.
Because all of these events have a different effect on the way we function together. Mm-hmm. They have a different, they kind of change based on each of our individual emotions and how we're going to try and support each other and do all these things. And leading up to his funeral and then after his funeral, right, there was a lot of changes between the two of us in the way we interacted. It was very interesting to see because they were unexpected changes. Mm-hmm. One of the big ones was like any communication, we were just missing each other. We were on totally different tracks and we could not figure out, like, it's not like we're mad at each other. We just cannot communicate.
Yeah.
It was very strange.
An example of this was we were in Spokane driving, and I just assumed, it was a lot of assumptions, just miscommunications. Thought, yes, we need to go that way, but we're coming up on a one-way street. And you thought, I need to go that way. I'm just going to turn right. Yep. And it was a one-way street, and we were going the wrong way.
That happened. For like
we were
20
fine.
feet.
There weren't like any other cars on there. You just turned around. It was good. It was a fun experience for my other cousin who's younger in the car to...
He made like, don't sure tell to your tell mom. His mom
like,
about
this is just our secret. He told his mom. Yep. But it's okay.
But, a lot of that. But in the mix of that, we also, like, that was one of the most intimate times
Yeah.
that we had this year.
We really clung to each other.
Yeah.
And I feel like my relationship with God grew a lot in that time. It's really easy when
it did.
big unexpected things happen to forget about him and just focus on the now. And I decided I'm not going to do that. Because I know that that's not the right thing. So, I don't know, felt closer to God than I ever have. And so then I ended up clinging to you, even though we were missing each other in every single communication.
Yeah, very strange. Because usually we're angry and frustrated with each other if that happens a lot like that. But
I think we had a lot more grace.
We did.
Because of the circumstances. And so we would miss each other and we didn't get angry at each other. We were just like, it happened again. Okay, let's try this again.
Yeah.
So I was very thankful for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was definitely a really good lesson in the fact that we can't just say, this is how I'm going to interact with my spouse all the time, because we need to be constantly gauging where each other's at and how we can best love each other, and live sacrificially for one another, right? That's really what it comes down to is, I know that you are going through this season because, he was your cousin, right? And so I was able to recognize, okay, I really need to step up and make sure to be extra there emotionally for you.
And I'm so glad you recognized that, because for me, it's like, I'm really struggling. I need you to be extra there for me right now.
Right.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
it's just a really good thing to recognize. And it's not even really hard stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's even like when we're rolling, we got our routines good, when we've got all of our, everything's in order, that's when we most easily slack off, right? That's when we think, oh, everything's good because everything's good with me, right? I'm just in my routine, but I be maybe missing something from you. I need to be constantly, I don't want to use the word checking in, but I need to be constantly getting a gauge of where you're at emotionally and where we are as a couple.
Yeah. So even though it sucks, it was great for our marriage.
It was.
Because we allowed it to be. It could have, you can so easily take things like that and let it rip your relationship apart.
And there's even, like, throughout the rest of the family, we've seen growth.
Yeah.
In these circumstances, we've seen people cling on to God in a more real way. We've seen people cling together in a more real way. It's very interesting, the circumstances that brought people there.
Yeah, because my family, they all live in Washington, and then my parents, me and my brother, live in Colorado. And so we're very separated, and so it's been really cool to see that we've been brought together a little bit more. So that was the prayer I kept praying during this whole thing was, Lord, please bring good out of this situation.
Yeah.
And so I'm able to see the good because I'm looking for the good.
Absolutely.
So
that's
there
huge.
was some tremendous good that came out of a very traumatizing experience.
Yeah.
But
last two things from our year. Pretty big ones. Leading a small group.
yes.
So we started leading this group at the beginning of the year. I can't even believe that. It feels like it was 2 years ago.
It was just last January is when we started it.
We went through the 5 love languages with 2 other couples. It was a ton of fun. It was a learning experience. We had some challenging times,
well,
but
we
it was
had
super
never
good.
led anything like that before, us learning to be leaders.
Yeah, it was us learning to be leaders, us learning
Facilitators.
how to interact with other couples in certain ways,
Yeah.
interact with each other in a leadership role.
Oh, yeah.
But we started doing that. We continued in the fall.
Yeah, we took
in
the
fall.
summer off because people are just so busy in the summer.
Yeah.
So
Continued in the fall, had like our first meeting with this small group. We opened it up to the church as a young marrieds group, and it grew like we had 14 people there our first week.
Like 7 couples.
It was amazing.
So it jumped from 3 to 7.
Literally, Cambria and I, we got the shop all cleaned up, had our meeting, right, with everyone. Everyone leaves, and we're literally sitting in the shop, like, crying. Because we're like, I cannot believe that all these people showed up to our place, to a shop of all places, right? It's dirty, it's, like, not
they
amazing.
They can't all fit in our RV.
But it was amazing. People connected, people started to grow relationships. It was so cohesive, and we had a good time. Mm-hmm. People really, I don't know. It was just so surreal to us. Mm-hmm. So anyway, small group has been a big part of our last 6 months.
And to continue on that path, we are restarting small group this year again, and we have 13 couples. So
13 couples, not 13 people.
13 couples.
Yes.
26 people.
Yes.
And 6 children.
Yep. All under the age of 2.
Yeah. Well, one of them is over 1. All the others are like 6 months and under or something like that. So. Yeah. A lot of new life.
A lot of new couples.
Yeah.
Just like early in their marriage, new couples. So it's really good.
It's incredible to see how that's grown.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't realize it if we didn't look back. Mm-hmm. We are a small group.
Last thing.
Oh, I do want to say one more thing, because I said a few times we visited Spokane, Washington 3 times. And it was my cousin's graduation, my cousin's funeral, and then one of our weekend to remembers was in Spokane. That's where the third one comes from.
That's right. We spent 2 weeks there.
Yeah. It was actually technically in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, but they're basically connected. And we drove into Spokane a few times because to see my uncle and to see your uncle who also lives there. So anyway, I just want to clarify that.
Yeah.
That's where the 3 times Spokane went, and one of our goals for this next year is to go to Spokane less.
Our last thing is this desk. All right.
This desk
is new.
Yeah.
I didn't build it with my bare hands.
It's a gymnasium floor.
It is.
That sounded really weird the way I said it.
Has all the scuff marks from shoes and everything.
What about this desk?
Well, it's in a new home, because we bought a new RV. When did we buy it?
August or September.
No way.
Yeah.
I thought it was November.
Oh,
That's
no.
terrible.
It took us months. So we renovated 2 RVs this year, that pickup bed camper and a massive 42-foot toy hauler 5th wheel. And that is what we are currently living in.
That's
and that is
home.
what, if you are watching this online on YouTube instead of listening, that's what you're seeing.
That's why it looks different. Yeah, our old office was literally 8 foot, right, the width of the trailer, by 5 foot or 4. I think it was 5 feet.
Okay.
5 or 6 feet.
8 by 5.
This one is 8 by 12 because the garage is 12 feet long. Tall ceilings. It's amazing. All right.
Oh, we also, this is the biggest accomplishment.
Yes.
We have 5 beds.
We do. More beds than most people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's totally like our parents who both have, I don't know, over 2,000 square foot homes.
Yeah.
It's like, I have more beds than you. I do.
And they're all queens.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, it makes it diverse for us switching it up. We don't always have to do it in our bed. Because they're all our bed.
They're all our beds.
So.
Yeah. So we spent about September through November, I think, renovating this. So it took us a while. That is why we took a break from UMS together.
I guess that's true.
It was just too much.
Trying to move and do the podcast, and it was starting to get super cold outside, and winter life in an RV is
it's a little difficult.
Not ideal.
But it's in 08, 07?
Yeah,
08. And so it was in pretty good condition. It just looked really outdated. So we thought, well, before we move in, we're going to do a bunch of work to it.
Yeah, we did
make
paint,
it look
floors,
the way
fixtures,
we want it.
all sorts of stuff.
Yeah. So looks snazzy now.
Yeah. Just needs a little love on the outside.
It does, but...
Yeah. So, let's move on.
So we moved, and now we're in January.
We're in January.
We had Christmas, and now we're in January.
Oh, yeah. Christmas was the whole thing. We don't have to talk about that today.
Okay. We're going to move on to I'm going to do word for the year first.
Okay.
Okay, last year we talked about doing a word for the year.
Yes.
And we decided intentional is our word for the year.
Yes.
We wanted to be intentional in all that we did.
How do you feel like we did?
I feel like we did pretty good. I mean, we can always do better.
Of course.
But I feel like knowing, like, this is what we're aiming for, it helped me to be more intentional.
Yeah, me too.
So.
I agree.
All right.
What's our word for this year?
Our word for this year is momentum.
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 Even though we didn't move into a momentum.
Most people aren't going to get that joke.
Yeah, I know. It's a type of RV.
Yeah.
Now you know. Now you're in the loop.
Okay.
What about momentum do you like?
I feel like moving and starting fresh, per se, has helped me gain a lot of momentum and just feel like I can just start doing things better. I feel like I'm sleeping better. I have more energy. I'm assuming they're all connected.
Yeah.
I just want to keep up that momentum and continue to grow in our relationship, grow in other people's relationships. Just keep moving forward in the things that we feel like God is asking us to do.
I agree. And a lot of where the word momentum came from is we've been talking a lot about it with group, because if people start coming to group and they see the fruit coming out of that small group, they feel people naturally are drawn to, like, well, I've already started doing this and I feel some of the good things coming out of it, or I've been able to cultivate relationships or whatever. And that's the momentum we're talking about.
Yeah.
It's just like this drive to move forward because you've been able to feel some of that that movement already.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'm very excited. This year, we're going to do some big things.
I feel like it's going to be a big year, too.
Yeah, hopefully less unexpected things. There's always unexpected things, but
I don't want it to be a boring year.
No.
Beginning of the year, last year when we didn't have much going on, it was like, okay, but I don't really like this. I want things to be going on, but it was just so much unexpected last year that it was like, oh my word, I can't keep up.
You were not having it in January last year.
I'm not having it most Januaries, but this year has been much better.
A lot better. Yeah. I don't know what it is. Must be your herb garden. Really gave you some momentum.
Yeah. Okay. Goals?
All right. Let's talk about some goals.
Okay.
And let's preface it with what we recommend for people. Do you want to do that? For setting goals? I can do it. So last year we talked about kind of our method for setting goals.
Yeah, our very first podcast that ever came out.
Yes.
We mentioned
episode 1.
Our goals for 2023.
Yes. And what we talked about was the 4 F's, right? Faith, family, finance, friends. We actually say to split family if you have kids, say couples goals and family goals. Anyway, that's a really good framework to structure your goals around. And so that's what we do. We're not going to go super deep into it. If you want to see kind of the theory behind it, watch episode 1.
Yeah.
And then episode 2. And so on.
All the way to 32.
That's right. So anyway, we can talk about our goals. I just wanted to preface that because I feel like it's really valuable.
I just wrote down just a list of what all the goals were, not in their categories. And I came up with 10, so I'm just going to read down the list real quick.
Go for it.
So these were our goals for 2023. Pray together more. Spend more time with the dogs. Camping more. Taking more and better pictures together. Build a business together. More date nights, at least one a month. Learn to lead our small group. Be more open to reaching out to people, specifically at church. Have our business be self-sustaining in a year. That was a very lofty goal.
Yes.
Be in our own place. Okay. Meaning, like, we live with your grandma right now on her property. Yeah. We wanted to be on our own.
Yep.
So, feel like we achieved some of those. Pray together more. I feel like we did.
Some.
Some.
Not as much as either of us would like, but
Yeah. Spend more time with the dogs. I feel like, I don't know.
It's a hard one to gauge.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we're going to try and do some agility stuff with Nala this year.
With Nala? Yeah. Camping more. That one was a total bust.
Oh, yeah.
We said camping more last year, and we had only camped 2 times the year before. This year, we only camped once.
Yep.
And it was that really long 10-day trip where we flew to Spokane in the middle.
Yep. So, that's okay.
We like to camp, though.
We do like to camp.
Taking more and better pictures together, I feel like we did pretty good with that. Mostly
on that one trip, but it was like, let's intentionally go to this place. So, like, we drove to the Utah Salt Flats, and like just to take pictures. Really was the main point of going. Like we wanted to see it.
And we got one of our favorite pictures there, and it was on our Christmas card, and now it's hanging on our wall.
We got some really good pictures there.
It was really helpful on the trip too. My parents were there, so we could just hand them the phone.
Yeah.
Put it on the right settings for them.
That's right.
Just like
gotta
press
set
the button.
it up. Just press the button.
But it was really nice to get a lot. We got a lot of family pictures on that trip. Yeah. As in all 4 of us 2 and the dogs. Yeah. It was really good.
Yeah.
Build a business together.
I mean, we're here.
It's growing.
It's growing. It didn't grow at the rate that we had hoped, but we're. I feel like all of these things, even things we didn't necessarily get done, we made movement forward. Yeah. And so, like the business, right? It's not self-sustaining either. Oh, surprise, surprise. It cost us some money last year. But
spoiler, we didn't even get to that one yet.
I know. Anyway. But it's all, right? We've moved forward. We tried some things that did not work. We've tried some things that kind of worked. So we're just doing things,
Yeah. More date nights. No, we did really bad at that. Yeah. We started doing one a month, being a month, and then it got crazy, and we just didn't. But that's okay.
I do have to say something though. We did go to 6 marriage conferences this year.
That is true. So we're set.
We got to keep that in mind.
We do go on date nights every time we go to a conference.
Yes, we do.
So, learn to lead our small group. It's a continual learning. I don't think it'll ever be like, I got this.
I know.
But it's grown significantly, and I don't think that's us. That's all God.
Yeah, our first meeting for this current group is tonight, and we're nervous.
We're meeting like 5 new couples.
Yeah, there's literally 5 new couples, and it's like, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Because the amount of people that actually would attend regularly was less than, like, the most we had was 50% last year.
Yeah, so we let it get bigger, and then everyone said they would come tonight, and we're like, oh no.
Yeah. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. It'll be good, though. I think...
We're super excited.
I think we just gotta remember this isn't our thing, this is God's thing, and we just gotta see where He leads it.
That's right.
Be more open to reaching out to people at church. I feel like we did better, but there's always improvement. I mean, yesterday at church, there was this couple that sat next to us, and I've seen them around a lot, and I've never met them. And I kept saying in my head, like, you should say hi to them. And I didn't. I was too scared.
Yep. We're convinced they're probably in our small group, and we don't know it yet.
Oh, my gosh. We'll keep you updated on that. Maybe they'll show up and be like, oh, gosh, you're the people I sat to yesterday and didn't say anything to.
Yep.
Business self-sustaining in a year? Did not happen.
Nope.
No way.
We made $0.
Yeah! It's even number.
We, yeah, I got a letter from our bank like, you need to use your debit card or else we're going to cancel it.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's fine.
Be in our own place. We updated RVs, and this one functions way better for our family.
Yes.
We are still living with your grandma, though.
It's a step forward. So we went through this whole roller coaster last year of, do we buy a new RV that's better fit for if we want to grow our family? Mm-hmm. Or do we buy land so we can move on to that? Or do we start renting a house?
Oh, we looked for months at renting a house.
Yeah, we did. And this RV popped up, was a killer deal, and we're like, this has to be...
Yeah.
a sign.
God said, new RV, that's the way you're going.
Yep.
Because literally the day before we were at an RV show, looking at RVs
For other people. Yep.
We were helping people look through RVs because we understand them a little better. And the next day you were like, I just found this RV and it is exactly what we said we wanted if we were to upgrade. And it's a really good deal. Like, I think it might be a scam because it's too good of a deal. And here we are.
Yeah.
We picked it up like a day later or something like that. And it was like one of those, like, wow, I need to stop and process this for a second. Cause
it was crazy.
God is moving so quickly. I can't keep up.
Before we move on, I need you to entertain the people because I got to pee so bad. I didn't go beforehand. I am out of practice.
You need me to entertain the people?
Okay, I'll be back.
Okay, well, I'm a plant lady now. I have a bunch of plants, but let me tell you about them, okay? These are called snake plants, and they're freaking easy to keep alive. And so I just got a few really big ones and then trimmed them so they're all little mini ones. And then I have the same plant everywhere in my house. So, yeah, they're real. That's all I've been able to figure out how to keep alive so far. I do have an aloe I'm nursing back to health. That one's doing okay. I have bamboo and I'm not sure how to take care of it. But Noah got me an herb garden for Christmas, and now I'm a little baby herb mama too. And I'm loving it. I'm watching my dill grow. So, yeah. Hi.
Hello.
What's up? Did you hear what we were talking about?
No.
Plants.
Oh, nice. I walked into the bathroom and I looked down like, my mic.
oh no.
So I set it on the dresser.
Okay.
All right.
2024 goals.
Yes, let's get to it.
Do you want to read them? Or
yeah, I can read through them.
Let me know if you're not sure.
Do you want me to just go through them?
Yeah.
There's 8 goals.
Yeah, we handled 8.
7, actually. We don't want to live with my grandma or anyone else besides this fine lady.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're nice.
Oh, well, sometimes.
Yeah.
We love your grandma, but
yeah,
we've been living with her for a very long time.
Yes, we have. She's okay with it, but
yeah,
progress is good. We're hoping to get our own land. We'll see what happens.
That's the dream.
I mean,
I feel like God can always be like, no, that's not the plan I have for you. But right now our thought is find a plot of land and we can move the RV to the land and live there and eventually build a house on the land.
That's
so we don't
plan.
want to live in an RV forever. Surprise, surprise.
Ta-da. Okay. We want to go to Lake Powell.
Yes, that's the number 1 goal. Go to Lake Powell this year. Because I wanted to go last year, and we didn't go last year.
We didn't go.
This summer will be 3 years since we last went.
We're out of our cycle.
If you don't know, we like Lake Powell.
Yes, every 2 years. Have to go. Didn't happen.
It's been 3 since I've came to the family. I've been 18, 21, and
has it?
We have to go. Okay.
So, all right, good to know.
Have to go. I've only been twice, but I freaking love it. It's something I can't even explain. It's just this experience that you have to experience yourself.
It is. Cool.
Continue.
Okay.
I just got really excited. I really want to go to Lake Powell.
I know you did.
And your parents have a new boat now, and I'm like, oh yes, it's happening. Okay, sorry. Continue.
Creating routines. So, what does this involve?
This involves not waking up at 10.
Yep. Being in the Word more. Mm-hmm. Together and separately.
And that new stupid thing you want me to do with you.
I got our cold plunge set up. It just needs filled. So we're going to do that.
We're going to be ice bath people.
Yep. So we may do like ice bath intro clip if we ever actually do it. That'd be super fun.
We want to do it. We're just nervous.
Yeah.
It's going to be really hard.
It's going to be really hard.
It's something really hard that we get to do together.
That's right.
Okay. You can move on.
I was going to make a joke about that, but it's fine. We'll move on. More dog enrichment.
Yeah.
So it's like what we talked about last year.
Yeah, last year was just spending more time with them. I've realized we spend a lot of time with them. Like, we're home all the time. They're always with us.
We get cuddles.
They don't get as much enrichment as they need.
Yeah.
They're very smart dogs, especially Nala is, like, genius. She was a person, she'd be a genius. And they just need more enrichment to keep their brains occupied because they're just so much happier when they do stuff like that. So.
Yeah. Enrichment includes, like, hiking, though, too. Because Nala, like, she lights up when we go hiking.
Yeah, you can see it. She, like, gets this huge smile on her face.
Yeah.
So, she hasn't been smiling much recently. That's why I need to do this, because I love my smiley girl.
Yeah. Actually have the business more self-sustaining, which means we need to be putting more time and energy into it, right? Last year, what we found is a lot of things got pushed in front of it. And so we're going to try and do better with our time management, and we're really working on a more clear plan of what the business is meant to be. So anyway, just to serve people better. That's really the biggest thing, is we want to serve people well. We want to equip people, you people, to do marriage well.
Yeah.
Do good marriage things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Be more natural in our home and food.
Yes.
What does that mean?
I'm on this whole, like, holistic living kick right now. I've been on this for a while, but...
I hope it's not a kick. I'd like to just continue on.
Yeah, but I've switched a lot of just, like, our products. So, like bathroom products, like skincare, hair care.
Cleaning products.
Soap, laundry detergent. Like, a lot of that I've switched to more non-toxic options. I want to continue to do that with the things that are left and continue... I've been so focused on that stuff, I haven't focused as much on the food. And food is what fuels us. Yeah. And, you know, it goes directly into our body. Mm-hmm. So I want to focus more on just being more healthy, eating more natural.
Making food at home.
Food that has, like, real nutrients, isn't fake food. Yeah. Which is a lot of the processed food that's on the shelves right now. And then the last one was making more food at home. Actually, I want to change that to just making more stuff at home. Yeah. Recently, I made my own laundry detergent. I'm really proud of it, but it was way cheaper and more natural. So a lot of times the products that have less toxins in them are more expensive. Right. And I want to learn how to just make some of these things myself, so I don't have to spend the extra money, and it'll just make me feel really proud of it. And that was
super easy to make, too. Yeah. It's not like it took you hours of slaving away and grating soap.
Yeah, so you don't have to be rich to live a healthier lifestyle. Yeah. But if you want to just buy everything in... It's going to be expensive. Prepackaged stuff, yes, it's going to be more expensive. Yeah. So I'm trying to learn that. And then just making more food at home. That sounds like eating out less. We probably should eat out less. But, making everyday things at home still. Yeah. Like yogurt. We like to make our own homemade yogurt now. Making, like, my own granola or, like, things like that at home instead of buying them. Yeah. So.
I want to add one to our list, and has to do with friends. Okay. And I think it just has to do with making more time for one-on-one time with our friends. We have a lot of group things we do with friends because our friends come from our groups and whatnot, but that one-on-one time really helps develop our relationships, and I do think that's really important. I help lead a men's group through the church, and I've seen a lot of, like, there's so much shallow relationship with all these guys, and I desire to have more of that, but I haven't figured out how to do it yet.
You can't get that deep relationship without time. Yeah. It can't just happen right away.
Right. So, anyway, that's what I wanted to add.
Perfect. Is there anything else you want to add to this podcast?
Oh, gosh.
Remember our question from the beginning? Yes. Where we said, I can't remember it, so I'm going to read it. What are some things you want to get out of your marriage this year?
Yes.
Be thinking about that. Talk about it with your spouse if they're not listening to this podcast with you.
Yep.
And let us know. Comment on this video or on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
Oh, that's right.
You can message us through any of those or just comment on one of our posts or something like that. We'd love to hear.
Yeah. And the links for all that stuff are attached to either our podcast page or our YouTube page. Mm-hmm. And you can even look at the website and send us an email. Or
if you're looking on like Instagram or TikTok, it's youmeus.together.
Yes.
And there's a link under those too that'll give you like our link tree, and so you can get to anything of ours from there.
That's right. So anyway, that's that. I feel like we hit it. It was kind of an all about us. So for the new people, hopefully you understand who we are a little better. For those returning, thank you for coming back.
Yeah, hopefully it wasn't too boring, just like talking about our lives.
Yeah, it's all to say chaos doesn't mean that our relationship is going to be strained.
It's not one or the other.
But it is one or the other if you don't put in the work and make the observations about what's happening in your relationship.
Yeah.
So
we had the craziest year I think we've had yet, and came out stronger than we've ever been.
Yeah.
Because we were intentional. Our word for the year.
Yep.
About our marriage and how we interacted with people, and
yeah. I think Satan will pry you apart if you're not watching for him and watching each other's back.
He knows your weaknesses.
Yeah.
And if this isn't strong, it's a weakness, and he will get in there. Mm-hmm. Even if it is strong, he wants to get in there because he doesn't want it to be strong. But
absolutely.
Don't listen to his lies.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, next week, another podcast.
Yeah.
If you guys want to see more from us, social media, you already said it. Mm-hmm.
Or our website.
Yeah. You can reach out to us, or we have blog posts up there.
Our website is
ymutogether.com.
Perfect.
Yes.
All right. Till next time.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Okay, I really have to pee too, but I held it because...
You're a good person?
Yeah.